Hare Krishna.
Are we starting now?
Hare Krishna, Jai. All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's do the opening prayers together. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanajanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yudhapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Jagrijatam Sahagana Raghunathavitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lagita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namoste Tapta Kancha Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Good to have you. And okay, I was about to say, and Ojas has just joined. Okay, Hare Krishna, Ojas. Very good timing. Great. Jay, you have muted, and I was wondering, would you like to do Narsimha Arti, please?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please, go for it, Jay.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Pranadadadadadine.
Prahlad Laine. Hiranyakashipu Vashaha Shilakanakalaye
Narsimha Parato Narsimha
Hito Narsimha Parato Narsimha
Yato yato yami tato
Yato Narsimha
Ahe Narsimha Hirade Narsimha
Mahe Narsimha Hirade Narsimha
नरसिंहं मध्ये क्षामं प्रपदे
नरसिंहदिं शरणं भजे
वपुरकमलवरेण्येन अद्भुतश्रीना ललिता हिरण्यकशिपुतनुबिम्बा ईश्वरीश नररूप ते जगदीश्वरी जगदीश्वरी
तब कर कमल वरे नाथा अद्भुत श्रृंगार दालिता हिरण्यकशिपु केशव देता नर हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय
जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव
जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज
जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज
जय गुरुदेवा 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 जय गुरुदेवा
जय गुरुदेवा 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 जय गुरुदेवा जय जय प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जन जन प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय गौर हरि
बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल नरसिम्हा की जय आज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव महाराज की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू सो मच जय very nice of you Krishna Chaitanya are you there yes Krishna Chaitanya would you like to do Hare Krishna Mahamantra please
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you so much, Krishna Chaitanya, and it's so nice to hear Govinda as well. Govinda is also there with you, and I think he was also singing along the side. Very nice. Thank you. Ojas, would you like to do Hare Krishna Mahamantra, please?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ajaz. Very kind of you. Very nice. Amok, would you like to do Hare Krishna Mahamantra as well, please?
Okay.
Please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Amok. Very nice. Very kind of you. It's so good to hear. And wow, what a picture. Beautiful. Hey, Hare Bo. So let's start today's session. So who remembers what did we do last time? Anybody?
Did we do the story of the 24 gurus?
Ooh, right. Well, during for weekend we did something else, and during the week we did something else because I think last Tuesday Adi did the presentation, but last Sunday we were doing the presentation from Bhagavatam. Remember Lord Dattatreya. Let me share the slides. I'm sure it will come back to your mind. Okay, you can see the slides now. So who remembers this? Anybody? Anybody remember the story of Lord Dattatreya, the Avdut Brahmin?
Yeah,
Ojas.
Lord Dattatreya had 24 gurus, and we were learning all importance about them.
Very nice. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Ojas. Okay. Now, as Ojas said, we did introduce Lord Dattatreya. And he's the incarnation, and he's the only incarnation we have who have all three in one. What we call Trimurti. If you think of Trinity we have in Hinduism, the creation from Brahmaji, maintenance from Vishnuji, and destruction by Lord Shiva. So all those three, they came together as Lord Dattatreya. But here, Lord is not as a Lord. Lord is like a saint. He's there as a saint. He's rolling down and he's giving the instructions to a king. And this story is in Shrimad Bhagavatam. What is Shrimad Bhagavatam? Shrimad Bhagavatam, we have Ved. In Hinduism, we have Vedas. We have 4 Vedas. Then we have 108 Upanishads. And then we have Puranas. Puranas are like the stories. And the Purana itself, if in Hindi you might know Purana is something old. So Puranas are something which is ancient, very old. And there are many stories there. And one of the best there, well, the best Purana is Shrimad Bhagavatam, also called as Bhagavad Puran. And in that, there are 12 cantos, and each canto has several chapters. So 11th canto, chapter 7, and I think it's from verses 33, we have these stories. So these stories, these gurus, these teachers, these teachings are there in the scripture. It's not like somebody made it up, right? These are there in the scriptures. They have been put together for our wisdom. So what we can learn from them. And this is what Lord Dattatreya is teaching us. Lord Dattatreya is saying that he has 24 teachers and we should learn from each one of them. And then he explains us. He gives the name of each and then he explains us what he learns from each of the guru, each of the teacher. Okay. So I think we discussed. So let's just go quickly. Anyone, what we should learn or what we can learn from Earth, Prithvi. There on the screen as well if you want to read. Or if you remember anything, even if it's there on the screen, you could still say it. Aryan, what we can learn from Earth?
Um,
Okay, Ojas.
we can learn about its mountains and trees, what beauty it's, and the place where we can live, how it gives us shelter, and how about its welfare.
That's right. Very nice. Yes, thank you, Ojas. So the tolerance and so much Earth does for us, and Earth never revolts back. Earth never says, "Oops, you have done so much back to me. I'm not," like what we usually do. You know, brothers and sisters, we fight with each other, and then we say, "I'm not going to talk to you. Never, ever, I'm going to talk to you." But Earth never says that. So there is so much tolerance, and obviously, mountain and trees, what they give to us. Air. What do we learn from Vayu? Any one thing. Okay, Arvind would like to say. Go on, please.
So
So air tells us not to be with bad association. So let's say the air goes to a flower. In the air, it will start becoming the fragrance of the flower, but if it goes next to trash, it will take the smell of the trash. So it's kind of like the air is bad because it's with bad, and when the air is with the flower, the air is good.
Great. Thank you. Anybody would like to add anything to it? Okay, right. Well, one thing I will say, A for association. Always remember, one thing we need to remember is association. What is association? Association is when we get associate with someone, when we spend time with someone. So when the air goes to a place where there is fragrance, then that air will take that fragrance. And if that air will go to a place where there is garbage, there is foul smell, then that air will take that bad smell as well. And this is what the association does. So one thing we can learn from air is that we should always be careful. We always need to associate ourselves to the devotees, to the people who are committed to do good things, not the bad things. Now, obviously, we will see the difference, what people think is good, what people think is bad. These definitions could change. And that's why it's so important to do these sessions, spiritual sessions, because these things usually we don't learn in the school, because the definition varies, and so which is justifiable. It's very easy to understand why, but we will see how we can come to a conclusion, how it's easy for us to understand what's good and what's bad. Okay, sky, Aakash, what we can learn from sky. Now, the reason I'm not reading, because we have done it. When we will reach to the new one, before I mention, anybody else would like to mention? Anyone is going, it's gone. Okay, what do we learn from the sky? What we learn from the sky is that it's infinite. It's unlimited. You might have heard, if not yet, I'm sure you will very soon, when we say sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. I remember in universities days when I was doing aerospace engineering, and aerospace is the space beyond sky. So I remember when I used to say, well, or somebody used to say that sky is the limit. I remember myself saying that doesn't matter. I'm aerospace student. For aerospace, even sky is not the limit. But people say sky is the limit, which means sky is infinite. So that's how much we can expand ourselves. That's how much number of possibilities, if you think of, that's how many possibilities we have, which means never ever give up. We always have so many things we can go, we can improve, we can do. And this is one thing we can learn from sky. Sky doesn't have any boundaries, it doesn't have any limitations. It's free. It's all what we call pervading. Pervading is it's everywhere. So when we think of ourselves, sometimes people will think, oh, because I'm here in UK, I'm British. Sometimes people will think I'm French, I'm German. But right beyond it, if you think about it, there is one thing which is common to all nationalities, that we all are humans. And if you think about the same sky, same sun, same moon, so nobody will ever able to say that this is a British moon, or this is Indian moon, or this is French or German moon, right? Because these natural commodities, they are available to everyone, and they react to everyone equally. And this is how we should be. When we respond back to someone, we should not respond back thinking how this person looks like, whether that person is white, black, yellow, pink, Pigs, I think. Aryan is laughing. Yes. So this is what we can learn from sky. Water. We always drink water. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said that I am the taste of water. I'm the taste of water. So what do we learn from water? Anything. Okay. Let me ask Aryan. Aryan, what do you remember about water?
So, water can take the form of any shape or thing, and every living entity will need it.
True. Like we said, all the natural resources, they fall into this category where they all are same for everyone. Now again, think of the water, the association, the power of association. And probably this is one of the best things to learn, that doesn't matter how good or bad you are, you will get worse or you will get better compared to which association you are going to get into. Now, most of you going to get, well, Jay is still preparing, and I think Krish Chaitanya is still young. But I know Amog, Ojas, Aryan, and Rohan is not here. Tanmay, Nirik, they all are getting into secondary. And in secondary, you will make new friends. When you will make new friends, before you will make new friends, you will meet everyone. And it's your duty to judge them. How do you judge? You need to find out what you think is good or bad. Would you like to associate with them? Now, there again, as we said, there's a definition. What you think is good might not be good for them. What's good for them might not be good for you. So you need to define what's good. You need to define what's bad. And based on that, you need to associate with those whom you think is good. And you should not associate yourself with someone who is bad. Think of water. If you will put water in milk, that water which was transparent would change into white water. Sorry, white milk. And same thing, if you have half a glass full of transparent water, and if you will mix orange juice in it, that transparent water will take the color of orange juice. Right? And this is what we say association. The water will take the shape, the form, and the color of what it will associate with. And that's one thing we can think. But there is another thing. Remember what we said? Water is so smooth. It's very hard to stop water. You can stop the solid thing, but it's very hard to stop water because water will start leaking. Yeah. And if you would remember natural resources, even if water is falling over a very strong rock, slowly, gradually, day by day, it will break that rock. It will make the path through. And we have seen that number of places. When you go to a natural habitat, you will see a stream of water falling over and making its own. It might be slow, it might be gradual, but it's consistent, it's persistent. And again, as students, this is one of the quality we should learn from water, that we should be as persistent at that. And there are many more things being said here, but because we have discussed, so we will go further. Now, another natural resource, and as we discussed, there are 5 different things our body is made up of. Anybody remember? Shivani, here.
Air, ether, water.
Yeah.
What's your heart?
Yes. Great. Hare Krishna. Krishna is there and Govinda is there. So yes, what we can learn from fire, the same thing. Fire will not discriminate. Like any other natural resources, fire will burn whoever will come close. Right? And it's very hard to control fire. It's possible, but it's very hard. But like fire, we should be doing the hard work. What fire will do? Fire will purify. For example, if you will have ornament which is mixed, if the ornament is mixed with something, an impurity, as soon as you will put that into fire, what will happen? That impurity will go away and the fire will purify the gold and you will get the original pure gold. And that's what fire does. And that's what we should be as a students. We should never be lazy. We should not let the impurities come to us. We should always remember that. We, being students, we should not be impure. Krishna Chaitanya, do you have any example? Do you do hard work? Do you have any experience with fire? No?
Not many.
No many. I think that's a good thing. I will give you one with the Shivani and that might. Oh, well, it was with Aryan, I think. When Aryan was little, Aryan wanted to touch fire. You know, when we do the prayers in the...
Touched fire before.
Yes, yeah. Especially kids. And that's the reason I asked.
But nothing happened to me.
Nothing happened to you, which is a good thing. What? Nothing happened to you.
That's because I'll just show you. Wait 1 second.
Yeah?
It's because I just did like this.
Ah, okay. Yes, yeah. If you just take your finger through the fire very quickly, it won't do anything. Yes. But again, kids especially, they love when we do the fire ceremonies at home, especially for the prayers. Kids, they want to touch the fire. And I remember Aryan wanted to do it. And we used to stop him, but he would never stop. So one day I let him touch. And that day he learned the lesson that he should not do it. And as we say, kids usually learn from examples. And Krish, that's what Aryan learned from his own personal experience. He touched it, he experienced it, and he realized it's hot, and that's why parents used to say not to go. And that's another thing we can learn from fire. Hare Hare.
Go away and take my plate.
Oh, Krishna
Go.
unmuted. But it was very nice, Krishna Chaitanya. Thank you. Okay, Moon. Aryan, could you please read this? I think we did that, but we will quickly cover it.
The moon appears to wax and wane during the bright and dark fortnights. Despite this continuous change taking places with the moon, yet it remains unaffected by this process. Similarly, the sage should not be affected by conditional change of the body from birth to death, including diseases and old age.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, as it says, you might have heard when Gautam Buddha, when he went out, he was not allowed to go out. But when he went out 4 times and he met 4 different people. 2 main one, as it says, disease and old age. And he didn't know. He didn't know that people get diseased. He didn't know people get old age. And obviously later he saw somebody who dies as well. And he was so sad. First time in his life.
Hello?
Yes, please, Krishna Chaitanya. Yes, Krishna Chaitanya. Can't hear you anymore. Okay, I can hear you now, Krishna Chaitanya.
Yeah, you know the picture of the fire and the moon and the sky.
Yes.
What does it like basically mean? Why did you have to put a picture of the sky, the moon, and the fire?
Those are separate pictures or in one go, like this picture.
Yeah, why have you put fire there and then a moon there and then yeah, basically.
Okay, well, in this picture you only see fire, right?
Yes.
Yes, because fire is one of the teacher. And then in the previous one you will see water, because water was the teacher. So what, remember Kana? Kana has put together these slides. So what Kana did, that for each slide, he put the picture and put the name, and he put a bit of description for each teacher. So the name is there, name of the teacher. So we are doing 24 teachers, and this is the fourth teacher. And the name of the teacher is water. So that Lord Dattatreya is saying to the king that I have 24 unique teachers, and one of them is water, one of them is fire. And that's why Kana put the picture of fire just for us to resemble. And then the sixth one is moon. And if you see the moon, in the moon, like what we were saying, Hare Krishna, Avi.
Crab.
Good to have you back. Hare Krishna, Krishna Chaitanya. Very nice. So what Lord Dattatreya is saying, that one of the teacher is moon. Moon in Hindi also called Chandrama. Now, if you would remember, we do Ekadashi. Ekadashi comes twice in a month. So between two Ekadashis, we have 15 days. And that's the time between one Ekadashi to other, between full moon to no moon, moon, what we say, moon wax and moon wane. So waxing is there and waning is there. Like moon gradually, day by day, night by night, moon will get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And then one day it will be full moon. From no moon night to full moon night, 15 days. And the same thing from full moon night to no moon night, another 15 days. And what Lord Dattatreya is saying, that what do I learn from moon? That despite this continual change, moon does not get affected. And similarly, because our body keeps changing, we should not be sad. And if you will notice, a lot of people, they get sad. If you will see your mom, your dad, some of them, they might be losing hairs. Some of them, they might be getting what we call gray hairs, like white hairs, right? Some of them might be developing big tummies. Some of them might have bad eyesight, like me, got specs. Knees might be hurting. But just like moon, none of us should get affected. Affected means mentally. We should not get worried. Oh, what's happening? Imagine if moon will start worrying. Oh, I'm going slow. Day by day, night by night. What's happening with me? I'm going slow, less and less and less and less. And imagine, then from no moon, moon will say, what's happening with me? I'm growing. I'm growing. So this is what Lord Dattatreya is saying, that this teacher, moon, tells us that whatever happens in life, we should not get disturbed. And remember that a number of times what happens is student, they lose a cricket match, football match. We should never get affected by this. Okay? Always remember that. And that's what we learn from moon. And we are back to sun, Surya, Krishna Chaitanya. Would you like to ask a question?
No.
Okay, for
Lataji,
yes, please, Ojas.
I was just telling that today is lunar eclipse.
Yes, that's right. That's so right. Well done. Did you do anything different, Ojas? Lunar eclipse.
No, not much.
Okay. I tell you, next time, or maybe when you get the chance, read or watch the YouTube regarding Ekadashi. It's very interesting
Okay.
how moon behaves on Ekadashi. And that's why it's very scientific. That's why a lot of people, devotees basically, they don't eat certain things like rice on Ekadashi because of moon. Well, that's one of the reasons. But thank you. Thank you, Ajay. It's always good to have
Welcome.
Right. So yes, sun. Now what does sun do? The best thing about sun is that sun is one and sun is alone there. right? Think about it. One day sun will say, oh, I'm tired. Every day I need to go up and then I need to wake everyone. Arden will not wake up until sun is there. Yeah?
No,
No? You do? Yeah, you do.
no, I don't.
But think about it. Sun will never do. Sun will always be there. And similarly, we have parents in our family, right? If you think about, mother will not say, "Oh, Sunday I'm going to day off. I'm not going to cook." Yeah. Imagine one day mother will not cook, or one day son will not come because they are tired, right? Well, that's the thing. That never happens. That never happens. And this is one of the lessons we can learn from sun. That despite the fact what we are feeling, we should never shy away from our responsibilities. Now, again, taking in the context of a student. Now, if a student will, okay, I think in 5 minutes it's saying the meeting is going to end. I'm not sure what's happening, but Cisco is going to end meeting in 5 minutes. If it will close, then what shall we do? We come back for a few minutes if we want. It's 43. Well, or we can.
Ramoji,
Yes, please, Jay.
I know this because I just had my chess class in Cisco WebEx,
Yeah.
and the host, he said that Cisco WebEx is having like a problem, so we can rejoin after it disconnects us.
That's right. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Jay. It has something started happening recently. And thank you for the confirmation, Jay. I have the other classes I do. I have felt there as well. Not sure why. This is the very first time it's happening within an hour. Otherwise, it usually happens when you go 1 hour, 15 minutes. So I was thinking it will be okay. But if in case this will happen, we can always come back. We can rejoin and then we will have 10 or 15 minutes more, so we can do at least 2 or 3 more teachers. And this is the beauty. If we think about the unique teachers of Lord Dattatreya, now these are natural things. We see them all over the places, right? We always see water. Right in the morning we drink water, and then fire is there whenever we do the ceremonies. The sun is there, the moon is there. So we can always learn. We can always learn from these things which are always around us. But until we read this, until Lord Dattatreya made us aware, we were not careful. So as students, if you think about it, as it says, there is a saying that if you are listening, then everyone is your teacher. So if I am ready to listen, I'm ready to hear, that everyone is my teacher. And we have seen the example. Anybody remember any example from Mahabharata? Or Krishna Chaitanya? Oops. Okay, I thought Krishna Chaitanya unmuted himself. So, anybody remember the teacher of Arjun? What was
Guru Dronacharya.
Very nice. Thank you, Ojas, and thank you, Krishna Chaitanya. I think you also said it. Thank you, Ojas. So yes, Guru Dronacharya ji. Now, Guru Dronacharya had another student who considered him as the teacher, but he did not know. And you might have heard his name as well. His name was Eklavya. He was famous. He had a different name, but later on he got famous by this name, Eklavya. Yes. So Eklavya just said that I'm going to make him my teacher. And he didn't even know that I'm teaching Eklavya. But Eklavya used to hide and watch and used to learn. And this is what we can do. This is what we can do if we want to learn. If we have the desire in our heart to learn good thing from anyone, then nobody can stop us. Then what shall we say about all those teachers who would like to teach us? When we are there sitting in the classroom and we are ready to learn and they are ready to teach us, then that's one of the best opportunity we have. But even if somebody doesn't know, we can still learn. But again, we should be conscious what we want to learn. We should be learning the good thing, the positive thing. All right, okay. So that's about sun. Pigeon. Now we are moving from natural resources to the living beings. Right? Now, if you think about it, the pigeon, in Hindi called kabutar. Okay, let's see. Amok, would you like to read this, please? What it says about the pigeon on the side, please.
Okay. The pigeon story warns about developing a
Obsessive.
love or attachment in the transient material world. It is said to refrain from attachment or attaining the human body, which is the open door to moksha or liberation, a door to God realization. Even after being born as an intelligent living being, one is caught in the clutches of possessiveness and brings about its own spiritual destruction. Excessive attachment and love with any
Issues with WebEx.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Chaitanya. So good to hear from you again, Hare Krishna. All right, okay. Pigeon. Pigeon is very, very interesting. And thank you, Amok. You read it. Oh, Ojas is not here yet. Ojas must be coming. So, regarding pigeon, and if you have not noticed, if next time you will see, and you might able to see the YouTube these days, almost everything is available on YouTube. Now, the way the people, those who sell or try to capture and then sell the pigeons, what they do, they just put the or spread open the net on. Okay, Shivani would like to explain. Yes, go for it.
So basically, they put a net, and then they put the birds, the pigeon's favorite food, which is, for example, seeds. And then when the pigeon will be there, they will see the seed. But they can also see the net. They know that if they go in there, they'll feel the net. But they really like it. For example, if there was like, for example, chocolate, then you would really want to go to chocolate, even if it's a trap. So that's how seeds are very, like, pigeons really like it. So the pigeon hung on to the net, and he was about to eat it. He ate it, and then he got caught.
Hari bol. Very nice. Thank you, Shivani. You explained it very nice. And let me just explain again, if in case. Okay, Jay is there. Right. So this is what we can learn from pigeon. When pigeon they come to grab the small seeds, they see the net is there, but they cannot stop themselves. They come, and as soon as they land to eat, they get stuck. They cannot make themselves free because the way their claws are, they get stuck in the net. And if you think about it, somebody will say, oh, the pigeons are so silly. Why can't? Not that they are so hungry that they have to come. If they won't come for those seeds, then they will die. They can go somewhere else. Of course they can. But the thing is, temptation. And they are not alone. If you think about it, Shivani gave the example of chocolate. And that's so true. A lot of times, kids, they know that too much chocolate is bad, but still they can't control themselves. And then you might get a toothache, a tooth cavity, which is very bad. It's nasty. But you might see the people, they're drinking alcohol. Now they know the alcohol is bad. You will see the people smoking. They know that smoking kills because it says on the packet of cigarettes that smoking kills. But still, why they smoke? Because of the temptation. Because they cannot stop themselves. And this is why it is. So we should able to understand it, and after understanding, we should able to control our temptation. And this is what we learn from pigeons, that if we will let our temptations go blind, which means if temptations will take us somewhere and we just follow the temptations, then sooner or later we will be in danger. We will be miserable. This is what we learn from pigeon. And if we move to the next one, number 9 place, then we have python. In Hindi we call it Ajagar.
third favorite animal.
Is it? Why is that?
Cool.
Oh, well, yeah, if you think so, from the picture at least, does look very cool, isn't it?
Well, I only like snakes that are unpoisonous.
Yes, yeah, that's true, yeah. And I've seen, well, there was a guy who,
Trevor,
yes, please, Krishna Chaitanya.
there was also there was this boy from India, and
Yeah.
he actually just got wild snakes, and they didn't even bite him or harm him, and he used to sleep with them too.
Oh, yes.
They were like his master, and they never even did anything to him.
Yes.
And if anybody came, they just used to go, and they used to go forward.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. There's a very nice, very quick, small story about it. And you might have heard, but if I will briefly mention, then there was a snake in the village, and everybody used to be afraid of that snake. And then once what happened, there was a monk who came around, and everybody said, monk, could you please help us? There's this snake in the village, and he always comes around and we get so scared. Can you help us? Monk said, no worries. Monk went to the snake guy, and monk must be like you, Krishna Chaitanya, who does not fear, because everybody else was afraid, but monk, he was not afraid. So this monk, this sadhu, this sage, this Brahmin, he went to the serpent, the python, and he said, you should not scare these people at all. And he explained few other things, and then that snake said, okay, so sorry, I will never do that again. And then that monk went back to the village and said, okay, no worries, he's not going to come back here again. Even if he will come, he will not scare you. And that's it. He went. And then 3-4 months back, the same monk came back to that village, and what he noticed, that under a tree, that snake was lying in blood. And then the monk asked, what happened to you? He said, well, you asked me not to scare these people, and then these kids, they just throw the stones at me. And because I promised you I'm not going to scare them, I don't scare them, and they always give me trouble. See, so much blood. And then monk said, oh, tell you what, I meant you should not scare them for fun. You should not, if you are poisoned, you should not give your poison to them. You should not affect them, but you should always take care of yourself. You cannot let them do this. You can always scare them because of your self-defense. And he said, oh, right, okay, oops, sorry. That was a bit of misunderstanding. So regarding the snakes, we should always remember. But this is, in the picture, this is not just any snake. This is called python. And one of the best thing about the python is, what python is very famous for? Python does not discriminate. He eats whatever comes, which means he's not going to say, oh, I only want pizza. If pizza is not there, I'm not going to eat. Right? No. What? The only thing he needs to understand, that it's edible. And sometimes as kids, we should always take care of that. Maybe mother works very hard in the kitchen, or sometimes father works hard in the kitchen, and they cook for us, right? And it might not be one of our best favorite dish, but still it's full of nutrients, right? It might not be our favorite, it might not be the one which tastes best, but still, remember what we need to learn from python, that whatever comes, we should be satisfied. We should not have the desire, no, I want to have this, I want to have that. Because if we look for that, then we will never able to fulfill our desires. Okay? Never ever we will able to fulfill our desires. So always remember from python that we should be content. And that's the thing we learn from the sea as well. But we will come back to the sea again. We will start from sea. The best thing about sea is that there's many rivers which come, but sea is always calm. The ocean is always calm. Oh, the river can go beyond the boundaries and get into the town, the villages. But ocean will never do. Obviously, until and unless it's a natural disaster, like earthquake will come or hurricanes will come. Okay. And it has come, the timing. Okay, great. So, right. Let's just do. Okay, the news time is also there. All right, so definitely it's 7 o'clock now. Let's wrap up. I will just request Arin to do Hare Krishna, and then we will resume back maybe tomorrow. Yeah, Monday, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Okay, Arin, please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amod. Thank you, Jay. And Chaitanya. Those who can make, we will see you tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Take care. Hare